So, guys, I want to talk about AEW and I want to talk about Shane McMahon joining AEW. And this is going to be a very interesting thing if it does happen. I think that, first of all, my big thing about Shane McMahon is that he really has to fix AEW in a lot of different ways. He almost has to be like, it's really funny because he looks a little bit like Eric Bischoff. Like they both have like similar faces, and they both have like the white hair and all that, really. But I think with Shane McMahon, he has a lot more emotional maturity and a lot more of a business sense. So I think that, if Shane was to join AEW, I really would want him to fix many of the problems in AEW. I think, first of all, he really needs to talk to Tony Khan about nixing the roster, like definitely cutting down people, because obviously that's something that Vince believed in. And also, I think that he has to really talk to Tony Khan and say, like, what, this has to be a business mindset for AEW, because like I've said many times, the issue with AEW is it's more like a vanity project. So, like that's kind of what he needs to bring in, is to say, we're going to make AEW a business. We're not going to make AEW a vanity project. So if that means, like you nix most of the roster and keep maybe 25% of it or 30% of it or 35% of it, then you got to do that. And then the next thing is that definitely I would like to see him be in charge of creative and just like do his ideas, because I think that the other big issue with AEW is I'm not sure who's doing the creative there, but a lot of it's kind of not been good recently. So you need to kind of have some fresh eyes, on the product. And I would also kind of would say that, like I said, his role should be more a backstage person. I do think that if he was doing some matches, he should do that once in a while. But obviously, he does run into that issue just being a little too comical with his matches. Obviously, we know like the Shane McMahon like rabbit punches that he does. You can't have him do that to Will Ospreay if you're gonna make him a big star, or you can't have him do that to like Powerhouse Hobbs or somebody else like that. You have to kind of make sure that when you have matches with Shane McMahon, or if he's involved in AEW, that really he's doing realistic stuff. So he can't be doing like the silly rabbit, like his rabbit punches on people or whatever, really. I would also hope that he would kind of advocate for more like pay-per-views and other things like that. Like, honestly, as I said, I think on July they should have Blood and Guts as a pay-per-view. Maybe something in January as well, really. Or January or February, because usually their first pay-per-view is in March. But definitely a January and February pay-per-view. Like, make it 12 pay-per-views a month. 12 pay-per-views a year, I think would be good. But I also think that he needs to really help Tony on the business sense. I think that the worst thing he could do is be like on the AEW roster as like, some person in his 50s trying to, hopefully, win the AEW title or compete for that, just not to do that. Or there's a some nepotism, him looking out for his own people, really. So, it's going to be really interesting if it does happen. But I do hope that he's there to fix AEW's problems, and he's there on the business side to kind of like direct it in the right direction, really. Because clearly they should really invest in more visionaries instead of more wrestlers right now.